Hey guys, it's Mr. Clegg, and now we're going to learn how to tune the guitar with the tuner. Alright, first thing, different tuners are different. The ones we have right now in this class look like this. Turn that on. Oops, let's see, I guess you got to hold the power button to turn it on. There we go. And you need to make sure it says C and 440. C is for chromatic. That just means that it will tune any note you play to it, and then it will tell you what that note is. And the 440 is for the standard tuning frequency that we use. So we always want to make sure it's on that. You know, around the back here, there are a couple buttons to change that if you need to. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, well, it's a little hard to see. There are two buttons there. The one that says 430 to 450 is the one you have to press if it's not on the right frequency. I'm trying to get that in focus. There we go. You just have to keep pressing it until it comes around again into 440. 440, there we go. And then C again is not the note, it's just the mode that it's in, and you always want to use that. There are other modes that tuners have, but I just want you to use C, okay? So we're going to clip this onto the headstock, right there. And the cool thing about this tuner is that it will work in a noisy environment because it gets the sound from inside the wood of the guitar, and it doesn't really hear that much from the room and doesn't get messed up. If you're trying to use a phone app as a tuner, you have to be in a really quiet environment for that to work. Okay, so hopefully you guys remember the notes of the strings. I'll show you in just 1 second in case you don't remember. Just in case you don't remember the notes of the strings, starting from the biggest string, or the fattest one, E, A, D, G, B, E, for standard tuning. And there are different ways of remembering that. Eating a dog gets better eventually. That's one that one of my students made up. And another one that I've heard is Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna put this down so I can show you again the notes. We're gonna start with the biggest E string here. And I know it's a little bit hard. Let's see if I can get it in view here. I want you to be able to see what the tuner is showing while I pluck the string. I'm plucking the biggest string here. I'm just using a tune, just plucking one string at a time. That's my E string. And I need to look and make sure that it says E on the tuner. It does say E, but it's too high. So what I want to do is turn this tuning knob. I want to make sure that I turn the right one, because if I turn a different one, I run the risk of breaking a string. I've seen that happen a bunch of times. So again, I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn this one out. Since it's too high, I need to turn it. There will be a hard and an easy way to turn these knobs. And so what you want to do is, if it's too high, you want to loosen it. So you need to turn it like the way that's easier. So I'm turning it, and you'll also hear when you do it, you'll hear how the pitch goes down. Oh, now I'm all the way down to an E flat. I don't know if you can see that on the video. So that means I went too far. I need to go back up. And we want it right in the middle. All right, it's always better when you're tuning a stringed instrument to tune it low first and then go up to the right pitch. Because tightening the string, it will be more stable after you tune it. If you tune down just by loosening, and that's your last thing you do is go down, you might have to retune it again in a minute because it won't stay in tune as well if you do it that way. So there's my E, almost there. Okay, what's the next note? A, that's right. Let's see if that says A. Oh, that one's almost really close. It's just a tiny bit low. Again, you want to let it ring. Okay, it's a tiny bit low, so I'm going to, is that the right way to turn it? No, that went too low. So I want to turn it the way that's a little bit harder to turn to make it tighter. There we go. Okay, now it's right in the middle. Beautiful. Now what's the next one? That's right, D. Okay, this is way too low. It says B flat. I need to go up to D. So I need to tighten this thing by quite a bit. There's a C. C sharp. And G. There we go, we're almost there. That was a lot of change. So that's probably going to change the tuning. If you change any note by a lot, it's going to change the tuning of your other strings as well. So we're going to have to recheck them all at the end, which you always should do anyway. D. All right, good. What's the next one? G, that's right. So I'm going to make make sure that says G. It's a little too high, so I'm going to drop it down in here. And back up into pitch. So I went too far low so that I could bring it up into pitch. It's the best way to tune any string. There we go, got our D. Next one is B, that's right. A little too high, so you're going to drop it and go right back up into B. There you go. And that's pretty good. It's a little weird. The B string's always the hardest to tune. I don't know why. And finally, the high E string. That one's right in tune. Whoa. There we go. Now we're going to check all of them again. There's my E. It's a little bit low, so I'm going to bring it up. You always have to check things twice, or check it a second time. A, got to bring it up a tiny bit. There we go. D's good. G's in tune. B sounds weird. I don't know if I like that. There it is. And E. Have to retune that E a little bit. There we go. So now we can turn off the tuner. Why isn't that E getting in there? Okay, we're going to turn off the tuner. Just hold down the power button for a couple seconds and it turns off. You can leave it there, but somebody else might need the tuner, so it'd be a good idea to share and bring it back. So I'm going to play a couple chords just to see if it sounds good. It's pretty good. Okay, sounds good. So we got our guitar in tune. Good work. All right, on to the next thing. Happy musicianing.